For generations, many people have talked about one house in Savannah more than any house in that matter. This house is more known for other than the address. Unlike places of known areas like the Winchester or even the plantations, 432 Abercorn has endless rumors from across the country, where even rock star like Alice Cooper has come to see this infamous house. It's privately owned, not to visitors to enter. However, just to be able to walk by or even glance at it from a distance is just an own thrill. Keep in mind, respects to not enter for its residents as well, any ghostly inhabits that it may contain, or any curse it may emit. To tell stories of any kind can be one thing. It is important to separate fact from fiction of the hauntings of 432 Abercorn. In 1868, from when the grounds broken rather than rebroken, and the rebuild of 432 Abercorn, the land was home to a slave burial site. 432 Abercorn, this house was built on a burial ground. In this case, it is never a good idea in doing so. However, the city of Savannah, this situation seemingly unavoidable. Some structures were built on forgotten graveyards of Native Americans and enslaved Africans. This led many people to believe that Savannah is a cursed city, haunted by a curse that has burdened the city with the endless bloody battles of the American Revolution. The War of 1812 and the Civil War. Construction of the house, built for Benjamin Wilson and his family, wrapped up in 1869. Wilson was a veteran of the Civil War, with ambitions to climb the Savannah society social ladder. He considered his home to be being one of most expensive in Savannah, and it valued over $20,000, a staggering amount of that time. Shortly after the family moved in, Mr. Wilson's wife had died, one to many others victims of the yellow fever. It's when Wilson broke after being the only parent to their children, fell into a depression state of mind. The story of the Wilson family is more than enough to be disturbed of the hauntings. There was also a time that his daughter, and he restricted his daughter of any game plays with any friends. He caught his daughter playing around. He punished her. He sat her in a chair in the dying heat with no AC for days on end, no food and water. She passed away in that chair. Eventually down the road, Mr. Wilson himself had passed away as well. They were down the timeline where so many very unhappy, or hauntings, I should say, of this house, as well. One also being a triple homicide case sometime afterwards, after Mr. Wilson. The main factor is Mr. Wilson. The house was built for 1869. He had a rough time in his life, doing the Civil War, of course, losing his wife, going through a depression state and having to take care of his own family, his children, that is, and himself. And back then, no one would ever step in and, as nowadays, say something of what you're doing to your child is wrong. That's a hush-hush thing. They would turn their heads, unlike today. The imagining this house, let's put it that way, is very well kept, and the owners are very strict these days of no one ever stepping in. And if so, it could unleash something, is why they don't also let anyone in. And that is why you can only visit from the outside or stare from the outside and admire the house through the day and night. Some people just don't realize it's here. They walk by, the civilians walk by and just stare, or don't even realize.